Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. Andrew, I've been feeling this surge of energy lately, and I've noticed a significant reduction in those nagging little aches and pains I used to just accept as part of daily life. It's almost like I've unlocked some secret cheat code for my body.
That's fantastic to hear, Sharn. And I think I might know your secret code. We're talking about the incredible power of anti-inflammatory foods, aren't we? It's genuinely transformative, and so many people don't realize how much impact their diet has on their everyday well-being, from energy levels to chronic pain.
Absolutely! It's like a light bulb went off. For so long, I just thought feeling sluggish or having stiff joints was normal. But once I started intentionally adding more anti-inflammatory powerhouses to my plate, everything changed. I mean, what exactly is inflammation, in simple terms, for those who might not know?
Great question. So, inflammation isn't always bad. Acute inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or infection. Think of a cut getting red and swollen. That's your immune system doing its job. The problem arises with chronic inflammation. That's when your immune system is essentially on high alert all the time, even when there's no real threat. This low-grade, persistent inflammation can quietly wreak havoc throughout your body, contributing to everything from fatigue and brain fog to serious chronic diseases and, yes, those everyday aches and pains.
So it's like an alarm bell that never turns off, just constantly ringing in the background. And our diet plays a huge role in either fueling that fire or calming it down. Where do we even start when we're talking about foods that actively fight inflammation?
Exactly. And the good news is, many of these foods are delicious and readily available. One of the top categories has to be berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, they're packed with antioxidants and polyphenols. These compounds act like little firefighters, neutralizing free radicals that contribute to inflammation. Plus, they taste amazing.
Oh, I'm a huge berry fan. I throw them in my oatmeal, smoothies, or just grab a handful as a snack. And it's true, when I started doing that consistently, I noticed a difference in my energy, honestly. It wasn't overnight, but over weeks, I just felt lighter, more vibrant. What else should people be reaching for?
Leafy greens are non-negotiable. Kale, spinach, collard greens, Swiss chard. They're incredibly nutrient-dense, loaded with vitamins, minerals, and potent phytonutrients like carotenoids. These greens actively combat inflammatory pathways in the body. Dr. Greger, for example, often emphasizes getting multiple servings of greens daily for optimal health.
Okay, so berries and greens, two things I've definitely upped. What about spices? I keep hearing about how powerful things like turmeric and ginger are. Is that true?
Absolutely, Sharn. Spices are superstars. Turmeric, specifically its active compound curcumin, is one of the most well-researched anti-inflammatory agents out there. It's been shown to reduce inflammation markers in the body and can even help with pain management, similar to some over-the-counter medications, but without the side effects. And ginger, fantastic for soothing an upset stomach, but it also has strong anti-inflammatory properties, particularly good for joint pain and muscle soreness. Even garlic and onions contain sulfur compounds that have anti-inflammatory benefits.
That's incredible. So, adding a pinch of turmeric to your morning scramble or grating some ginger into a tea really makes a difference. I've been doing that with my stir-fries and soups, and it's so easy. What about healthy fats? I know those are important for overall health, but do they play a role in inflammation?
They play a massive role, specifically omega-3 fatty acids. These are essential fats, meaning our bodies can't produce them, so we have to get them from food. Sources like flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and even fatty fish like salmon or mackerel are rich in omega-3s. They're powerful anti-inflammatory agents because they help produce compounds that actively resolve inflammation. This can be key for reducing pain, improving brain function, and even better mood. The balance between omega-3s and omega-6s, which are often overconsumed in Western diets, is crucial.
Oh, the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. That's something I've been trying to keep in mind, especially with cutting down on highly processed foods that are often loaded with inflammatory omega-6s. So, adding ground flax seeds to my smoothie or having a handful of walnuts daily is a smart move. I've also found that eating more whole grains and legumes has made a difference in my energy. Is that related?
Absolutely, Sharn. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, brown rice, and legumes such as lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are packed with fiber. This fiber doesn't just help with digestion, it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut microbiome is crucial for a strong immune system and helps regulate inflammation throughout your body. When your gut is happy, your energy levels tend to be more stable, and your overall inflammatory response is better controlled. Plus, the slow-release energy from these complex carbs prevents those energy crashes.
That makes so much sense. I feel like my blood sugar is more stable, which directly translates to consistent energy levels throughout the day. No more midday slumps, you know? It's amazing how interconnected everything is. So we've got berries, greens, spices, omega-3 rich foods, whole grains, and legumes. That's a pretty powerful arsenal. What about things to avoid or reduce to really amplify the effects?
That's a critical part of the equation, Sharn. While adding good foods is vital, reducing inflammatory triggers is equally important. Top of the list are refined sugars and highly processed foods. These often contain unhealthy trans fats, excessive amounts of omega-6 fatty acids from industrial seed oils, and artificial additives. These can all ignite that chronic inflammatory response we talked about. Think sugary drinks, most fast food, packaged snacks, white bread, and pastries. Limiting these dramatically reduces the inflammatory burden on your system.
Yeah, that's been the toughest part for me, honestly. Kicking the sugar habit was a real challenge, but the payoff in terms of energy and just overall feeling better has been huge. I don't get those energy spikes and crashes anymore. It feels like my body is just running on a much smoother, cleaner fuel. And the pain reduction too, like my joints just feel less creaky in the mornings.
That's exactly what we hear from so many people. It's not just about managing pain, it's about reducing its source. When you consistently feed your body anti-inflammatory nutrients, you're not just masking symptoms, you're actively healing and preventing further damage at a cellular level. It's like giving your body the tools it needs to repair itself, and that translates to better sleep, clearer skin, and even improved mood, because inflammation can impact brain health too.
Wow, so it's really a full body reboot. What are some easy, actionable tips you can give listeners who want to start incorporating more of these foods without feeling overwhelmed? Because it can seem like a lot to change your entire diet overnight.
Great point, Sharn. The key is small, consistent changes. First, focus on adding, not just subtracting. Start your day with a smoothie packed with berries, spinach, flax seeds, and maybe some ginger. That's a huge anti-inflammatory boost right off the bat. Second, make half your plate vegetables at lunch and dinner. Try roasting different veggies with turmeric and black pepper for flavor and extra anti-inflammatory power. Third, swap out refined grains for whole grains. Brown rice instead of white, whole wheat pasta, or a side of quinoa. Fourth, snack on nuts and seeds instead of chips or processed crackers.
Those are really practical steps. I think the add, don't just subtract mindset is super helpful. It feels less restrictive and more empowering. Like, what good stuff can I put in rather than what do I have to give up? I also found that batch cooking helps a lot. Cooking a big batch of quinoa or lentils at the beginning of the week makes it so much easier to throw together healthy meals quickly.
Absolutely, batch cooking is a game changer for consistency. And don't forget hydration. Drinking plenty of water also supports overall cellular function and helps flush out toxins, indirectly aiding in reducing inflammation. Also, it's worth mentioning that while diet is powerful, it's part of a larger picture. Getting enough sleep, managing stress, and regular physical activity all contribute to an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. But diet is arguably the most impactful single lever you can pull.
That's a really important reminder, Andrew. It's a holistic approach, right? But what we put into our bodies is foundational. If someone is skeptical, or maybe they try it for a week and don't feel a massive difference, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them to be patient and consistent. Chronic inflammation didn't build up overnight, and it won't resolve overnight either. Give your body time, at least a few weeks, ideally a few months, of consistent anti-inflammatory eating to truly feel the profound benefits. Pay attention to subtle changes. Better sleep, more stable mood, clearer skin, less stiffness. Keep a journal if that helps track progress. It's a journey, not a sprint, but one that's incredibly rewarding for your long-term health and vitality.
Yeah, and I think that's key. It's about building sustainable habits. For me, it wasn't about being perfect every single day, but about making better choices more often. And those small choices really accumulate into something significant. The energy boost alone is worth it, let alone the reduction in pain. It just feels good to feel good.
Exactly. When your body isn't constantly fighting inflammation, it has more resources for energy production, for repair, for optimal brain function. It truly is about unlocking your body's potential. So, if you're struggling with fatigue, unexplained aches, or just feel like you could be operating at a higher level, start exploring these anti-inflammatory foods. You might be amazed at the difference it makes.
I couldn't agree more. So to all our listeners out there, start with those berries, load up on your greens, get those spices in, and swap out the processed stuff for whole grains and legumes. Your body will thank you, with more energy, less pain, and a path to truly better health. Thanks so much for breaking that down for us, Andrew.
My pleasure, Sharn. It's such an empowering topic, and I hope it encourages everyone to take a closer look at what they're fueling their bodies with. Small changes can lead to monumental results.
Absolutely. And that's all for this episode. Join us next time for more tips on living your healthiest life. Stay well, everyone.